for 38 years.
Okay.
And for the past 6 I've been.
In the Rockies, you say there.
Well,
Alberta.
the festival is in Alberta. Where's the Brunico is based in Toronto?
What's that?
The company.
Brunico, yeah, I think the local.
I think
company.
they're possibly in Toronto. But they've been running this, and it's quite prestigious to get a Rocky. And they had this year, they had Anthony Anderson.
Anderson, yes.
He was the host, which was quite interesting. And he held a masterclass, and he was talking about, he was about a series Blackish, and issues around, being this first generation of successful black people in his family. And just the issues he was raising, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, we've got that in South Africa, but it's an interesting place for us because we're sort of, from where I am, I'm sort of second generation. But in South Africa, or in that part of the world, you get huge, big jumps. I was telling someone that as a child, my father was a shepherd, and my grandfather was apparently quite wealthy. So when he had to go to school, my grandmother had to make a decision that this boy is going to school and I will take care of the sheep.
Okay, your grandmother.
Yes, so that was a very radical thing for women in those days.
Concerted decision, yeah.
So my father went to school. He went on to become a policeman, then an accountant.
In South Africa?
In Lesotho.
Also, you have a heritage in that
We're from Lesotho.
Okay.
And what became interesting was then he managed, through him and whatever, we traveled, we lived in the States, in DC for a while, in the 70s.
Okay. Your family?
My family, yes.
Okay.
So, but you understand, this was a shepherd boy. Who was suddenly meeting, President Ford. He met President Carter.
Well, your mother was the one who instilled that.
But it was a huge jump.
Yes.
And then when we got back home, he carried on. He worked for government most of his life. He did venture into the private sector, but he went back to government. And he was always quite highly placed in, and he was an accountant. But I'm just trying to say, so for his generation, he was quite successful.
Well, it was quite advanced, and I'm looking at the mother, the black woman factor in creating that kind of environment mentally for him.
Well, my parents got divorced when I was 8. But interestingly enough, and it was a shock. It was 1980, my parents got divorced.
You were saying that your mother influenced your father to let him deal with the cattle, and she wasn't one.
No, his mother.
Grandmother.
His
Okay, grandmother.
His mother,
Okay,
my
yeah.
grandmother.
So it's still coming from the mother there. Yeah.
My grandmother.
Mother,
yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
But then I was, when they got divorced, I was raised by a single father.
Yeah.
And he used to sit me down.
Your father.
My father, and he was
That's
radical.
excellent. Yeah.
And he would just keep. Shh. He's recording sound. He's recording sound.
Yeah, and keep hammering away at your dad, right?
But and he would sit me down, and he kept his whole thing was he kept saying that there's nothing that a boy can do that you can't.
Your father said.
My father.